Excuse the hair. I'm going to be doing some photos with Steve later for the pyjamas. Remember the pyjamas I got from Annie Mo's as a PR product around about my birthday? I think it was my birthday vlog that I showed you them. And I have been waiting for the Christmas tree, and I'm going to do some photographs in front of the Christmas tree. So I've done my hair, but I'm leaving the curls to drop, and then I'll brush them out for then. So just excuse the hair. I've done my makeup, and I got my beautiful nails chipped. I chipped one of my nails. It's the worst finger to show you, but I chipped one of my nails already. I'm so annoyed with myself because it was when I was taking stuff out the washing machine, and I just knocked it on the side and chipped it. But I mean, really, first world problems. It's not a big deal. It's just a nail. But I do love my Christmas nails, and I don't get my nails done very often, so I do enjoy when I do get them done to keep them looking as nice as possible for as long as possible. Anyway, I am wrapping gifts. So I've done all my wrapping here, and I've also got loads under the tree, which I'll show you after I film this. And I just want to show you, I don't usually, with the children's presents, I don't spend a lot of time doing little add-ons to them, because the majority of the time we take them to the person's house and then they open them there and then. So it's only under our tree, and I tend to put all the pretty ones to the front and put all the ones that are not decorated to the back. But this year we're dropping them off this weekend, so it's a couple of weeks before Christmas. So, well, no, not even that, goodness me, time is just flying by. But anyway, they're going to be under the other person's tree, so I want to make them look a little bit nicer, and I'm also a little bit more organised than the majority of normal years. Usually I've been rushing to wrap them literally just before, but I'm pretty organised in the fact that they're all wrapped. Partly because of YouTube, because although YouTube does take up a lot of time because you've got your editing and all that, because I'm planning on doing these things, I've done them early so that I can vlog about it. So that's a positive. Anyway, the Christmas paper that I've chosen for the children's presents this year is from Annie Mo's. And I just love how it's the deeper red, like I was talking about, that I really like the deep red rather than the ruby red. I've gone for it. It's beautiful ice skaters, like, and then children pulling the sledges. And I used to do some figure skating, not very well, but I used to do some when I was younger. And I just love the fact that it's got the ice skaters on it. And then there's an ice skating Santa as well, if you can see there. But I've just done a very simple arrangement. It looks a lot more difficult than it is. I'm going to show you how to do it. It's very, very simple to do. Literally, I tied on the string around the parcel. Now, I did quite a lot of bows underneath. I don't think we really need that because you can't see them, but you could just do that and leave it at that. You don't really need any of this as well. But what I did was I used forestry wire to go through the inside of the bow, and then through the centre of the orange, around the foliage, which is just a cutting Christmas tree. But I've also taken in some from the garden as well, of different foliages. And then some of these berries just tied in and then tied onto the string. So it's very simple, but I think it looks really effective. This is a photo of it. It's a little bit easier to see a little bit closer up. So what I've done is I've wrapped all the children's gifts. And so this one I've already wrapped and put the tag on. And I just literally wrote the person's name and stuck it on the back so that when I wrapped it up, I knew whose it was before I did the tags. But the children had made tags at school, so I've added one of their tags on the back of this because it's obviously to their friends. This is one of the adult ones. This is a bit more masculine than this one, which is more feminine with the peacock feather. But I've just used a pheasant feather at the back, a little bit of the foliage from the garden, and then I've used these were from Sainsbury's a couple of years ago. I'm just going to use a stamp to put an initial on there, but you could write the name on the wooden tag. But equally, you could just tear a piece of the brown paper and do stamps. These stamps are actually, it says do not open until the 25th of December. It's from East of India. I love the East of India stuff, it's quite rustic. So the children actually did this paper for me using just a black ink pad. They just stamped that all over the paper. I laid it out on the table and just let them go for it. So it was just random. I just took a wee video of me doing it myself, but the children literally lay it out like this, and then the children can just go along and stamp. They can have one stamp each, and they can just swap around and go back and forth and add as many different ones as they would like, although they chose just to use the 25th of December one and this lovely snowflake design. But it just makes the brown paper a little bit snazzier, and it also is very, very cost effective, as this paper for the whole roll, which I think is 3 meters long, was only 69p. And also the snowflakes you see on there are actually from a Flying Tiger pack, which was extremely cheap. which I bought from the Flying Tiger shop in Aberdeen. It actually comes, that's the logo, Flying Tiger. It actually comes with a silver ink pad, and I think that's the snowflake. No, it's not. It's that one that we've used on all the parcels. But I've used the black because one of the years I used the silver, but it doesn't really show up that well. So I think I ended up doing all silver and then going over it with black, which is nice. It gives sort of like a 3D, but it's a lot of work. So I've just done the black this year, but it would be nice to tie in the silver from the star on there, so it would be quite good. And these are also from Flying Tiger. It was a pack of 6, I think, for that was a couple of years ago, I think those were. But I forgot the year before. Let me just grab this. I forgot that what I did the year before. This is actually just an old bow from one of the that I made for one of our wreaths a couple of years ago. But I forgot what I'd done in the previous years is I'd put the Hessian, just that Hessian ribbon, Hessian burlap sort of ribbon, and I'd put that in behind the black, kind of like what my Stair Garland, you know, the sweeping Stair Garland, but obviously not sewn together. And I'd pop that in behind the black just to give it that extra dimension, which I think would look really nice. But I've already wrapped this one, so I'm not going to redo it. But that's just another tip of something to do. But honestly, I am not an expert in wrapping presents. I quite often wrap a present and say, oh, the children help me with it, when actually it's just my bad wrapping. Obviously I admit saying no, it's actually me. But yeah, my wrapping is terrible. However, I have made a conscious effort to make it look a little bit prettier this year, and I've really enjoyed it. I've put the Christmas film on, wrapping the presents, and I've piled them all up here, and then I'm slowly going to do this to them and then pop them under the tree. And then I've also got loads of brown paper ones under the tree already, so I've mixed it up between the 2 different styles this year. But this one already came wrapped in black tissue paper, and all I've done is I've taken a strip of the brown paper that's got the stamps on it, and then just tied a little black bow and then slotted through one of the peacock feathers, and I've just bent the peacock feather in half and slid that back through so the peacock feather isn't stuck on or anything. I'm not using any sellotape, although I have used sellotape in the other packages. But it just is a nice little feminine touch to it, and you can use these things again. This will be open to our house, so any of these before it gets put into the rubbish, this can obviously be recycled. And the good thing about the brown paper is that there's no glitter on it, so it can be recycled, because I didn't realise until very recently that any paper that has glitter on it is not able to be recycled. And not only that, but it contaminates the rest of your recycling bin. So this year we have got no glitter, although I do love a sparkle. There is glitter obviously in the tag, but I'm going to reuse that tag. The person that this is for will be here again next Christmas, so I will just repurpose those tags and use them again. So it works out really nicely. And I can even save some of the paper from this, because obviously there'll be no damage to it, and I can save these ribbons. This was actually used last year, and I've repurposed it again this year. So it's quite handy. So those are those 2. But also, let me go over to the Christmas tree, because there's one here I want to show you. So over at the Christmas tree, I even put on my sparkly top for this occasion. This is one that Bartley did yesterday for Grace. And what he chose to use was this ribbon, which is actually from a pair of Marks and Spencer's Christmas pyjamas. So they always come really nicely packaged with this ribbon, and then on the back it is, I'll try and cover up his beautiful design of his tag. It's elasticated, and then the Velcro wasn't long enough, so I've had to sellotape it on the back and underneath because it didn't fit around the whole parcel. But what a great way of reusing a ribbon that came from a pair of pyjamas. And I can reuse this again another year and year after year. It just so happened it was a perfect fit for the parcel, other than that little bit would have just sellotaped it on. But it works really well, and he was delighted because he chose it himself and it was his own little style on it. But I might say to him that he's very welcome to pop just a tiny little bit of fur in the back like that, because I didn't have this in the house last night when we were doing these presents. But just a little bit of fur, and it just sort of elevates the gift, just that little bit, and also smells amazing. And if these gifts are going, I think some of the ones I'm doing are going to someone who's got a real tree, but the other ones are going to people that don't have real trees. So it kind of gives that little smell of the real Christmas tree as well in their house, along with this one, which obviously has the orange. It just smells Oops, I'm knocking stuff over. It just smells amazing. It smells very Christmassy. And I also did some apples. I'm speaking very fast. I get very excited about these sort of things. Very, very excited about these sort of things. I did some apples and I sprinkled some cinnamon on them. I don't know where I'm going to use them because I think I'm going to do all the children's parcels the same with the oranges. I maybe should have used that on this one. I might tie on an apple onto the adult ones. But then I don't think the apple really matches that one, does it? But I think it would match that one because otherwise I've just gone and done all these for no reason. Although the children came home last night when I was taking them out of the oven and they ended up nibbling a few. So it's kind of like dried apple slices. So I don't think they'll go to waste because I've had them sealed in the jar. But I would like to use them in my parcel somehow. But I'm not sure how. Anyway, these are the oranges that I did in the last vlog. And I'm just going to pick out the ones that already have the sort of hole through them. Don't know if you can see that. There are some that don't, but you can just, you just pierce through it. It's really not difficult to do. I'm using forestry wire. Oh, it's got dust on it. Oh, no, it's not. It's actually in the inside. Yeah, I'm actually using forestry wire that I got from the range last year. I tried using the silver because I thought that would be a little bit easier to hide, but it's not strong enough. It's quite thin. It doesn't say, it just says galvanized wire. But they're Oasis Florist products. But these ones are a little bit sturdier. These little wire, I just poked a hole at the bottom so they don't all fall out. But it's just literally thin green wire. Well, it's wire that's been covered with a green plastic coating on the top. But it makes it that little bit sturdier. So literally all that you do is you cut a piece of ribbon the size that you want, and then loop that in the centre. Make sure your wire's half and half. Now you could snip the wire at the end. I've just rolled it back under and put it back into the present, but you could snip it. This hair's getting in my way. This is why I have my hair tied up the majority of the time. But it'll be worth it for my curls to be okay. Okay, so you just pinch that bit on there so that you will eventually obviously have that tied in a bow at the front. Then you add an orange slice. So let's get a nice one out of this jar. Get a nice circular one. One I had before, I think this is this one. Right, so then you just literally put the forestry wire through, and already that looks festive. You could even just stop there. You don't have to add anything extra. That is just lovely. It smells amazing. It smells really, really good. So that was then through, and then these little berries that I got from Amazon. I don't think I tagged them in my previous vlog, but I will see if I can find them and add them onto this one. But they come all bunched together, so you literally just have to untwirl, but you get loads for the price. That a massive bag full of them, and you don't go through them that quickly. So I just need to unwind these. I just did 2, which makes 4 because it's double-ended. But you could use more, and you could just use 1 if you just want to, because 4 is obviously an odd number, but 4 isn't even a number, and sometimes it's better to work with odd numbers. Okay, and that's the second one. Now I just sort of put it into the middle. Right, so. Literally, oh, that's my watch going. Oh, how lovely. This is the sort of thing, I read messages on my watch and then forget to reply. Anna's just messaged me on my Instagram and has just said, oh my God, Lynn, I absolutely love watching you on your vlog. How lovely is that? Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Anna. That is so nice. It really does make my day. It makes me so excited, and I get really, really pleased when I hear that people are enjoying watching, because it's so difficult to know what sort of thing to put out there and what people are enjoying, because I don't share everything that I do. And sometimes I'm doing things and I think, oh, I should have shared that instead of what I did share. And, you know, it's very difficult to know if people are enjoying it. So that has made my day. Thank you very much, Anna. Oh, that's really kind. Because taking the time to message me as well to say that really has made me so happy. Thank you. Because it is, some days you just think, oh, is it worth doing? Because is anyone really watching these? Is anyone really enjoying it? But I enjoy doing it, and I just hope that people do enjoy it, and getting messages like that makes it feel so worthwhile. Anyway, I'll go back to this, I'm gushing. But yeah, I just literally put those on the back like that, and then twist them round so they're sort of held on by the wire, and then just bend the berries round to whatever design you would like. And then after that, get a piece of your foliage. Look, I took in this. So I've just been chopping bits off of it. And I think I've chopped one already. But I've also taken, this is the leftover stuff from the stair. This cut from our gardens. This is the leftover stuff from our chair, from the stair, along with this. Well, this one might actually be a bit better. No, I think I'll go Christmas trees and literally just tie that on at the back like that and just twist it, just literally twist the two ends of the wire, and then that's you ready to put on the parcel. So let me get a parcel ready and show you, or actually let me make all these up. I'll put you in a time lapse and I'll make all of these up while I put on a Christmas film and watch the Christmas film. I'll make all these up and then I'll go through all the presents and wrap them and do that with you. But basically that's it, and then this can be tied. I'll do the bow at the end, but basically tie that into a bow, and that is your decoration for the presents. So simple, so simple, but I think just is so effective with the lovely Christmas smell. So I just think that is a really nice touch to add. And it took me how long? I'll have to look back, probably like 20 seconds, 30 seconds to do. Maybe a minute, say a minute before you cut everything and get everything organised. But it just looks so expensive really, doesn't it? But it's so cheap. Oranges cut and done. The ribbon's probably the most expensive part, because obviously the Christmas tree, it came with a Christmas tree, although you could use you could use any cuttings from your garden at all, like anything at all. And then the ribbon's probably the most expensive. That's Beresford ribbon, but it's a beautiful velvet ribbon. But you don't have to use that. You don't even have to use ribbon. You could just use the twine, which I've taken in from the garden. You could just use that and tie a bow at the front and do multiple loops of the same bow. I'll show you, I don't think I'll do the same as I did in that one in every single one, but let me just show you one of them. Let me do this one again. Now this one, so what I've done is literally I put the sellotape, I used sellotape on the children's ones just so that it held together a little bit better, but you can obviously take that off for recycling the paper. But I literally put on, because I haven't put the name tag on yet until I get it all made up, I literally ripped off a piece of brown paper and used sellotape to stick it on the sellotape so it didn't damage the paper. And then that way I knew this one was for Emily, and then her second gift, the same. And then literally I can then put them together and make them up. Now, normally, obviously, I would do all of this. I would do one parcel and wrap the full thing. So I wouldn't need to do that because then I'd be adding the tag. But I wanted to do this with you, so that's why I did them separately. But literally, I take the twine. I can't remember how long I need, so I can always, it will never go wrong. But this is just garden twine that I had in the greenhouse. I just went out and got it from the greenhouse. Although quite a lot of the sets, like my Sainsbury set, came with, have I got it here? I don't know if it's in this bag. Oh, I don't know what it is, but my Sainsbury set came with some twine, so you could just use any old twine really. So I literally wrap that around like this, wrap it around the back, tie it around the front, and then what I did was, so this one's a bit shorter than the one I did last time, but I'll just tie this in a knot and then I'll show you what I did with the excess from the other one. So I've just tied that in a knot and I'll do a little bow. But what I did with the excess twine from the last one was I literally, this is so simple, to make a big bougie sort of bow, I literally put another piece on and then knotted it on, tied it in a bow, but I made it a big bow, so it was the bottom bit was quite large. Then I took the two ends of that same bow and tied them into a smaller bow. So that gives you 1, 2, 3, 4, and then do the same again, but the opposite direction. So I threaded that through that way, so this time I'll thread it through this way, and then tied that. This is so simple, guys. I am not an expert at all. There'll be so many YouTube videos out there on what to do. This is literally me making it up as I go along. I haven't made that very tight, but you would make it tighter if you're doing it properly. And then tie the big bow first, and then a little bow with the tails. And that gives you sort of a fanned out big ones. It's not very neat, but you get the idea. Fanned out big ones all the way around, and then loads of little ones. So you could basically build it up so you've got like a big petal, like these would be like individual petals of a flower, and you could just build it up and build it up and build it up. That one's not as nice as this one, but you can get the same sort of idea. I'd sort of built it up in the background. But I don't think I really need that when I've got the decoration on the front. But I mean, that's all you need. That is all you need. You don't need anything extra on top of that. But I am going to add this and show you me adding it. And then I will crack on. I'll crack on with doing the rest. So you just literally slide that through. I'm saying literally a lot, but you can tell it's not very difficult considering I'm managing to do it. And I'm not very one for doing lots of decorations on my presents, apart from the special ones. But I do enjoy it, and I think if you've got the time to do it, and there's a Christmas film on and some mulled wine, and I had a mincemeat pie and some mulled wine at the same time, and it was just lovely. And then literally again, just tie this into a bow. And then turn it around so you can see you want to be able to see the velvet, don't you? Like that. And then that is the children's Christmas gift. All done now. I could have planned this. I was doing this with the children when we wrapped these because they're for their friends, so they were wrapping them with me. And I should have thought ahead and made sure that the wrapping paper was round the right way. But that just adds a little bit to the fact that the children did it with me, which is nice. But yeah, that's just added in that little nice festive smell. I want to go and crack on with the rest of them and add some festive. Oh, another thing. You know how I was talking about reusing bows? Like I did for this one, we reused a bow. This is actually from a Disney set of pajamas, and there were two velcroed together, two ribbons that were velcroed together, threaded through like a piece of cardboard at the front, so there's no bow or anything like the other ones. And then I've literally tied them together, but looped the other ribbon through, so it gives the illusion of a bow. So that just added to the parcel came, the necklace came with the box, which is a little necklace from Home Bargains. But it just makes it look that little bit more special, and it's reusing ribbons that came with previous gifts of the children's. Right, okay, I am going to carry on with doing these, and I will show you them at the very end under the tree. What these were. They're actually decorations. They're from Sainsbury's last year, but they're actually 9 decorations. Yeah, 9 decorations. And I've obviously just used one of them for the present. Now, I usually use the Melissa and Doug stamps that the children have, and I usually use them for writing the person's name, so like spelling out Mum or Grace or Barclay, and using the black ink to spell it out. But I'm going to use this, which was bought for Grace's christening, and it's an old stamp. I think it's antique. I think it was an antique G. And it just looks like that, which is beautiful. So I'm going to use that in the black ink to put a stamp onto there. Okay. Let's try it that way. Try and put this around. Let's see if that stamps. Yes, it works perfectly. I love that. Oh, that just looks so nice. So, as you'll have seen from that little video clip, we have done some pictures with these pajamas, which are the ones I showed before from Annie Mo's, and they're just lovely. They just feel amazing. I've been keeping them for good, and I think these might be the ones that I wear over the festive season when the fire's on and it's a bit, when the fire's on and it's a little bit warm to wear my Christmas pajamas. These would just be an ideal alternative. But we do have matching pajamas for Christmas Eve, so I will have on my Christmas pajamas for Christmas Day, but then I might change into these for Boxing Day, when we're having a nice, relaxed lounge about the house. These just feel so amazing. Feel so nice. Yeah, Steve is hilarious when we're doing these things. I try and take it seriously, but he did a whole series of photos, and I'm like, posing away, and then he turned it around and he'd taken the photos of himself. he is hilarious. He makes me laugh every single day, so that is a good thing. And I think he enjoys doing the photos too. Some of them were not so good. Some of them are like this, and yeah, some of them were not very flattering, so they'll be deleted. It just depends which angle, and I can't see what he's doing, so I need to get a bit more practice. But I do love to pose, so it's an easy job for me to do. Yeah, so we've done that, and I made a mulled wine. Oh, and the smell, so good, but I can't drink it because I've got to go and pick up the children, and then Grace has got some classes tonight. Bartley's have been cancelled because the weather's not so nice, so they've got a nice cosy night in, and then we will be home after Grace's to do exactly the same. I'm almost finished wrapping the presents, but obviously I stopped that to go and do this. Sorry, not wrapping the presents, putting the extra little bits on them. I've made them up as you saw in that time lapse. I just haven't added them to the gifts yet, but I'll do that when I come home tonight, and sit in front of the fire and do it. It'll be quite nice. And reheat that mulled wine and drink it. So that'll be, I'll look forward to that for as soon as I get in the door. And do you guys do this as well? You get in the door and you lock up, and then that's you in for the night. And I think it's even more so now because you know there'll be nobody knocking at the door, so you're like, oh, and we say, we're in for the night. Is that us in for the night? And then, yeah, we're in for the night. Brilliant. Don't need any coal. We don't need anything from outside. In for the night. And I could easily just stay here in my pajamas drinking mulled wine. Maybe we could just, no, we can't cancel. We've got to go. It's my editing time as well. When Grace is in at her classes, I sit and edit these vlogs. So I try and film on a Thursday and a Friday, so that the Tuesday's vlog is kind of done, and then it's any little bits I need to add in I can do on the Monday, and then I try and get it edited. Oh, that's my alarm. Let me stop it with my nose. That is my alarm to go and get the children, so I'm going to go change out of these. It's my 10-minute warning, so I've got 10 minutes to go and change. But I am looking very glam for school pickup today. It's a shame it's windy and raining, and this here is going to get totally ruined. But this is the curls once I brushed them out. They could have done with maybe falling a little bit further, but I literally curl them. You saw how tight they were. And then I spray them with hairspray, leave them to cool, and then I leave them in until I'm ready to go wherever I'm going, and then literally just run my fingers through it like that, and then curl it. Because I did have a few questions, one in person from one of my lovely followers. I did have a few questions about how I do my hair when it's curly. So that is literally what I do, and I use an old barrel curling tongs, and I literally just curl it, and then I do 3 sections. So I pin up the other parts and then section it in, and then I am, again, no expert in hair, but I think you kind of get to know your own hair, don't you? And this works for me, so I do it in tight curls and then hairspray it, and then just run my fingers through it. And the good thing is by doing that is I can still run my fingers through it for the rest of the time, and they kind of still stay. They will drop a little bit more, but they still look okay even when they do drop. I've got a big light on. I put a light on for taking the photographs, and it's very bright, very, very bright. I've put in my £3 clip, which came from, can't remember where it came from. It was in my first vlog. It was either H&M or Topshop, or I can't remember. I will tag it in the description box down below, but I think they're sold out. But yeah, I think I'll just sit here and admire my hair. I don't normally have my makeup done like this either, so it's quite nice to get all dressed up and get some photos taken. It was good fun. Right, I better go and get changed back into, I might put on something a bit cozy. I had on my festive sparkly jumper, as you saw before. It's like a thin sparkly top that was from Next years and years ago, like 7 years ago. And it comes out at Christmas, but it's not very practical because it is very thin. So I had on my other top underneath it. This is the one that's got the lace trim underneath from Misguided. So I had that on underneath, but I think I'm going to put on something a bit cozier when I'm going to be sitting in a car waiting for Grace. So that'll be tonight's, and I need to go and quickly prep the dinner, so that it's an easy cook when we come back. We're just having plain fish. So I'm going to go and crack some eggs, make up some breadcrumbs and get them coated, and just haddock. Have that with some potatoes and some peas and some tartar sauce. And that is our dinner for tonight, which is really nice. Anyway, I am going to run, but it's been lovely speaking to you. I like speaking to you on here, which is really good. I'm still thinking about that lovely message from Anna to say how much she loves watching the vlogs. It really does mean so much to me. I've been thinking about it ever since I got that, because it makes me excited and it makes me motivated to do more. And that really it sounds silly, but when you don't know if people are enjoying it or any feedback, it's very difficult to know. So it makes my day to know that you're enjoying the vlogs, because I love speaking to you on here. And yeah, that's the reason I do it, is to make people happy and to make people have it. So I got another message saying that they just love sitting down, having an escape for the 30 minutes and knowing that they get to just sit down. And I got another message from someone who watched the vlog today and they were like, oh no, I've got 5 more days before the next one. So that really makes me feel happy. And it also motivates me to do more, because it is very, very difficult to know if people are enjoying them, and it makes me smile to know that you are. So that's great. It makes me, I do a little excited dance. I get so excited. So thank you very much. Right, I better go. This is why I'm always running late. This is why I am always running late, because I chat away, the time disappears, then I'm like, I've got 5 minutes. I've got 5 minutes and I've got to go get changed. I've got to do this and I've got to, and then, oh no, I haven't emptied the washing machine. I need to go and empty the washing machine so the washing's dry so I can put the next load in so it's finished before bedtime. Yeah, this is why I'm always late. So I've just been taking some photos for Instagram, but that's all the presents under the tree. I've been trying to hide the carpet for taking the photo, but I mean, there's no chance to hide it because it's in every shot. But it's quite good to have as sort of like a history timeline, because then I can look back and see the carpet and how the lounge used to look when we do end up renovating it. It'll be quite a nice history, you know, posting these photos for memory's sake, which is quite good. I have wrapped some of the beautiful Kerlig bottles in the tissue paper that comes with the bottles, and I have just tied a bit of ribbon around it and put a peacock feather and sellotape the peacock feather on the bottom, just bent it in half. So that is a lovely, lovely little gift to give to someone. I forgot to tell you that when the gifts arrive in the post, and I then put them into storage, over the few months before Christmas, I use little sticky labels to write the person's name on, because in previous years I've opened up the box and gone, who did I buy that for? Because I bought it so far in advance and I can't remember. So every time something comes in, I just put a little sticky label on the very bottom, just beside the barcode of the product, and then that way I remember who the gift's for when it comes to wrapping. And I can divide them out and go, those 4 are for Emily, those are for such and such. So that is a little tip that I think works really well if you're buying your presents in advance. So yeah, I've also tied on to this bag. This is one of the Kerlig bags. I've tied on one of those sprigs that I made up just to make that bag look a bit festive, and I can deliver the presents in that, so I'm not wasting any bags. And then obviously it's paper, so it can be recycled. But the reality of taking photos for Instagram, sofa is up on its end and I've got a light shining down, so it's not all beautiful. When you see things on Instagram or on YouTube, there are some messy bits in behind in order to get those pictures. So please remember that when you're looking at other people's feeds, and don't constantly think that everything is perfect, because that is a very difficult thing to do, and not realise that everything's not in order, because it very often isn't. I forgot to show you the stair garland as well. It's now finished. I will show you it. I was waiting for a little thing to go at the bottom of the stairs. Hasn't arrived, and I don't think it will be before the last of my vlogs are going out. So that'll be for next year, something to look forward to. But I'll show you the garland just now, and just ignore the fact that the thing at the bottom of the stair isn't there. Yes, this is also the aftermath of taking many photos for Instagram as well. You're left with a mess to tidy up, but at least I had everything sort of laid out because I was doing the wrapping and everything. So I just took it out, displayed it, and then I'm going to wait to put it all away now. But yeah, there's always a mess in behind the perfect photos. Well, maybe not perfect, but the photos that you try and make perfect, there's always a story behind it. It doesn't always look as amazing in real life. I forgot to also say that I added some cinnamon sticks to some of these as well. So the ones that don't have the red ribbon, I just tied on a cinnamon stick in with the twine, I didn't do that one, but yeah, and some of them I've added on a cinnamon stick. That'll give the extra smell, but also I think it looks really nice, and I hope the recipient thinks so too. It's true what they say, like giving gifts is as much joy, if not more joy, than receiving them, and I just love packaging them up, and hopefully the people that are there for will love them as much as the care put into wrapping them. Another thing I normally do, but obviously is not so needed this year, is I usually buy big boxes of Thorntons, that's biscuits, and I buy the box of mints and some chocolate oranges and some little gifts for the children. I usually wrap them up under the tree, as well as a couple of bottles of mulled wine. Not that you forget anyone, but say someone comes in past the house with a gift and you haven't got one wrapped and ready for them, then I keep a permanent marker beside the tree, which allows me to duck under the tree, write a little note on the brown paper to say who it's to, and then that way they will still have a gift to give in return, and it just kind of covers all bases, just in case, because there's always that time where you might have forgotten someone, or someone might come in past when you're not organised, so at least you've got something to give them back. But this year they're just sitting here, and the children and Steve and I have been slowly but surely eating. There's double this, and we're slowly but surely eating through them. I'm also making use of last year's decorations. I don't know if you remember, last year's was like this, and if you look back on my Instagram you'll be able to see it, and this as well, like I did tags with the silver and the black, and then wrote their names on the back of it. So we're reusing that this year with the beautiful stars, which are the ones that are on the door handles. So they are, I just took them off and put on another sort of tag, and then I have added a little bit of pheasant feather to it, just to elevate the gift from that to that. Yeah, this carpet, it's going to be great to have loads of crumbs. This carpet's going to be in all my vlogs. I'll be able to look back and see it and go, oh, look at the carpet. Do you remember when it used to look like that? This was actually the thing that my nephew, when we moved into the house, my nephew would have been about 5 or 6, and he came in here and this lounge was completely empty. And he was like, oh my word, it's the best playmat ever. I've got a bit for my for my cows, a little bit for my cows, a little bit for all my animals, and they're all divided. And then I can drive around on the roads. So he thought it was the best thing ever. So it gives you a different perspective when you see it through someone else's eyes. The stairs, as promised, the stair garland's all done now, and it's got its pheasant feathers in. It's got its ribbon on. Got some peacock feathers in there. And the stairs have also got some candles lit down the side. Bow at the end that I just made with some Hessian and my Hessian bow, one that then joined on to go here. Hessian with a black ribbon. And then Christmas tree, a lamp, and these are the presents, the fake presents from last year that usually stay under the tree. I've got them sitting here. And then I've just wrapped a couple of books from the kitchen, what's usually in the kitchen display. Just put a nice bow on it. And these were my birthday present last year from eBay. They are old vintage ice skates with beautiful leather covers. But the best part is they're from Harrods. They were owned by Jean Bryce. Yeah, they're from Harrods. How beautiful are they? So they are for my Christmas display. And that is the stairs finished. Busy yesterday making these peppermint creams for their teachers' gifts. We used to do mulled wine, like bottles of mulled wine, but last year we made fudge, and the children absolutely loved the fact that they made the gift. So this is my first time making peppermint creams. I got the recipe from Susanna Hemmings on Instagram. I'll put her Instagram tag on here and include the recipe down below. But they were delicious. The children and I were so sick that when it came to actually having our roast dinner last night, all three of us were feeling a little bit sick after eating so many taste testers. But they are ready, and I'm going to go and package them up. They also use a cookie stamp to put some snowflakes on these ones. I don't know if that's picking it up. We used a fork for the other ones, and then a little snowflake design on those ones. So I'm going to go and put them into little bags and get them ready, because they have to go into quarantine at the school before the teachers can take them home. It makes me more organised, because obviously they have to be in quarantine, so I have to be early with the gifts, so it works out really well. Using these cellophane bags that I had for the fudge last year, but just a little selection. One with chocolate with dark chocolate on the bottom melted, and then 2 stamps, and then 2 forks. I'm listening to Christmas tunes and doing some stamps of some snowflakes, And I've got a little helper here who is also sampling some of the leftover peppermint creams. And I've also written on the back what they are and what's contained in them and when they're best before. They keep for about 2 weeks in a sealed container. So we have got a sealed container with excess ones that are left over. And the rest are all packaged here. The boys have just gone down to go and get some little bits of Christmas tree to put onto the packages, and then we'll get the name tags written out with all their names and pop them on. But I've had lovely little helpers helping me. So that is the teacher's gifts all done. We also include all the other members of staff as well. We're lucky we're in a small school, so we've got the janitor, the 2 cleaners, and also the lady that does all the lunches as well, because we want the children to sort of appreciate that every job's important, and without the cleaner they wouldn't have a clean classroom, and without the dinner lady they wouldn't have someone to serve their food, and we just want them to appreciate every job, and that no job is unimportant. So luckily we're in a small school, so it's easy to do. So we've included every single person in the school, because we believe that they all deserve to have a gift and be appreciated for the work that they do, because no job is too small. And we want them to realise and understand that we appreciate them and for everything they do for our children and for them. And as Grace said yesterday, no job is too small, Mummy, and she is very, very right. So I've got no wire on these, so I didn't even use the wire. I just tied round the string round the back and then threaded it through the orange and then tied it in the top. So it's actually a lot simpler and a lot easier than the ones that I added onto the other gifts, which is good. And also, I had a use for my apples. Let me show you them. So I used my apples on these. And again, no wire, just tied round with a parcel and then put it through the orange, put it through the apple with the cinnamon and tied on a little bit of Christmas tree. So I've used that for these. So that has worked out really well. So they're not been wasted and they've definitely been used. So that's good. And they look really cute because these are going in a bag, the black bag that I showed you under the tree. These are going in it, so it's already got one of those the fancy decorations on the outside of the bag, but this just spartans up the contents of what's inside. So I will end this vlog here. Sorry it's a long one. I was going to cut it down, but then I've only got this Tuesday and next Tuesday before it's Christmas, and I've still got Christmas Eve sacks to do, the name tags and the ornaments that I'm going to make out of clay. And I want to do all that in the next vlog, so I have jam-packed this one, but I hope you've enjoyed it and it's given you some motivation or inspiration, and I hope to see you in the next vlog. I appreciate the teachers' gifts and everything. Most people can't include everyone in their school because some schools are a lot bigger. We're very fortunate that obviously the school is small enough that we can, but also, as you see, the gifts that we're giving are not expensive. I mean, the contents are ice and sugar, egg whites and peppermint essence and dipped with chocolate. So I mean, it's really very, very inexpensive in that sense, and all the stuff I've added is very inexpensive. So it is possible to keep the gift cost low, but the thought and the sentiment be there, and it enables us to be able to include everyone. And as Grace says, no job is too small, and I hope that she continues to carry on that sentiment and appreciate everyone for everything they do, because no matter what your job is, you can take pride in it and you can work hard at it, and it doesn't matter what your role is, because it takes a village and it takes everyone to make things work, especially at the school, because they need a janitor to make sure their playground is safe and good to use, and all the jobs are important at the school. So I hope that came across and you understand that obviously we are lucky it's a small school and it's easier for us to do. Well, I will see you in the next vlog for some more BOWRAYMAS. Thanks for tuning in, guys. And if you're not subscribed, I would love for you to subscribe. I love getting notifications that there are new people subscribed. And I would really appreciate it if you do enjoy these vlogs to share them with anyone else that you think would also appreciate them. I know many of you have already shared it with their friends and that it's on your WhatsApp groups with your mummy friends, and that really makes me happy. So I really appreciate it. And for everyone who sends me a message to say they enjoy it, I love it. If you are able to comment below though, I love getting the personal messages and I really, really enjoy getting those. But if you're able to comment below, YouTube seem to like that if people comment. So I would really appreciate it. Thank you very much. And I will speak to you in the next vlog. Love you lots. Bye.